Good afternoon, and how do you do, fellow kids? Sorry I'm late, as usual. Eggy. Sorry, guys. I had to give Eggy a medicated bath. His, oh, Eggy. No, I get Hawaii agree. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Sorry I'm late, and I'm also, Eggy. I'm late, like, by a day. Um, ow, I get. Yeah, I'm late, not just by day. I had to change the live from yesterday, as you guys know, to today because of scheduling conflicts. And then also Aggie. And then also Aggie has been breaking out again, so I had to give him a medicated bath again. It's just so pathetic. It's just so pathetic. Oh shit. Uh-uh. Ow, I get. Aggie. Thing is that I can't let Melvin up here because Melvin won't stop licking him. How I get. So I feel so bad because Melvin looks so cute. Yeah, man. And I want to like let him up and kiss him, but like that such bad. But then it's like, but Hammy is all red. I know. Thank you. I know. I get. It's okay, Swaggy. Like I was having to put some medicated shampoo on him, and then I was having to put some little hot spot spray. He has all these hot spots. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I love you. I love you. Ow, I get. It's okay. I'm sorry, but aren't they just so cute, you guys? Like they really are. Like actually. So anyway, how's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? Thank you, Doc. I appreciate that, Doc. Yes, please do. Did you? Don liked and shared the stream. Doc liked and shared the stream. Did you? Did you? Hey, where's my sound?
Did you?
Why can't I hear my... Here we go.
Did you?
Okay, got it. I got it. No. Okay, anyway. Thank you so much for the super chat, Caroline. Happy Monday. What a great way to start off. Not gonna lie. I always really, really appreciate and love when somebody gives me a super chat really early, like really early in the stream. It's always just exciting, you know? It's like Christmas. I'm like, ah. So thank you so much, Caroline, for the super chat. And happy Monday to you, too. You guys want to make fun of Argentina, too, for a minute? It is a happy Monday. I'm happy to see that they lost. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. I don't know what AED is, but it's red, so I think it's a good chat. AED currency. What is that? Oh, it's the UAE, United Arab Emirates. Thank you so much, but I think that that's a good super chat because it's red and they like organize it by color. So thank you so much. You didn't leave a comment. You didn't leave a comment, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, yes, we do have to make fun of Boomer Mar. Thank you for bringing that up, Almost Ready. Yes. Because, yes, no, we have to make fun of his why I left the left arc. Yes. Okay. So I didn't realize, and sorry, guys, I know it's making a lot of noise in the background, but Eggy is playing right now. So that's his nails on my floor. But it's like pathetic. So I don't want to stop him because it's like really cute. He's like running. It's like so pathetic. Oh my God. No. Oh my God. So just bear with me. Yes, and you know what was really yikes? It was so yikes. Is that yesterday I was walking around Brooklyn after I got back with my sister because my sister's visiting me. And after I got back, what's so funny about this? Sorry, I usually don't respond now to like cringe right wingers who come in my chat, but I have to respond to this because this is funny. Some right winger came into the chat with the woman screaming, the famous meme of the woman screaming, being like, Kamala lost. Not realizing that we're not Kamala stands here. So you're going to have to go try that shit somewhere else. Here comes the crash out. No, actually, it's not. I don't care because I don't care about Kamala Harris. Oops. 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 Sorry, liberal trigger. You're in the wrong chat. You're in the wrong chat. I don't care. I don't care about Kamala Harris. Nice try, though. Anyhoodle. Yesterday, when I was walking around Brooklyn with my sister, it was funny and like really yikes though, because all these people were wearing Argentina shirts, not shots. All these people were wearing Argentina shirts. And I was like, where are the Spain shirts? Like, I didn't see anybody wearing Spain shirts, but I saw all these people wearing Argentina shirts. I'm like, oh, right, I forgot. Like, I actually also live in like a neighborhood and in a city that's fairly Zionist. So thank you, Brandon. Yes. Thank you. No, it was just funny. It was just funny. No, the person who came in that did that was just funny because right wingers are so dumb and so uneducated about politics. Like they know so little about politics that they think that like the left are liberals. They don't think about it this way, you guys. And I know some of you know this, but some people don't know this. The right wing doesn't understand that there is a difference between like the progressive left and the liberals. They don't know that. They think because they watch Fox News and they watch Newsmax and they listen to Steven Crowder, like, and Ben Shapiro, they don't understand that, like, there's different factions of the left. Like, they don't understand that. They think that, like, I'm going to cry about Kamala Harris. They don't understand. They're like, oh, triggered. No, I don't care, actually. But nice try, though. It's just funny. It's just funny. Thank you for the super chat, Mark Pugliese. How about Dem exit and no more sheep herding? Okay, where? To where? To where? Like, where are we going? Like, where are the people going? Because if we're talking about people who don't vote, they've already Dem exited. They've already Dem exited. That's why so many people don't vote. You want to leave? All right, hold on, guys. I got to let my dog out. To be honest, all conservatives are the same to me. Awful. I mean, they kind of are, though. Like, at least on the left, there are different factions of people. The right wing is all the same, and they're really stupid. Sorry, I know. I hate to have to defend the libs here, but like even the liberals, like we can fight with the liberals on the left because they're not stupid. They're bad faith a lot, but they're not stupid. So you can fight with them. It's not like conservatives actually are just stupid. You can't like argue with them. There's no logic. They're dumb. Oh, hold on. Let me let Melvin out, you guys. Wanna go out? Go. No, Aggie. You have to stay in here. I'm trying to keep them low key separated because of all the. I just put the hotspot spray on Eggie, and I gave him a medicated bath. But like, oops, bath. But like, Melvin keeps trying to lick him, and so I'm like, bro, like, no, we can't be doing that. We can't be doing that. Thanks for the super chat, Mark. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. The right wing, like conservatives, again, not only are they stupid, but they don't actually care about things that are in our interest. Okay. And I'm even talking about the ones who are poor. You know how many poor, stupid motherfuckers will get up there and advocate against their own interests because they want to hold on to their racism? And speaking of Mark bringing this up, we have to have a serious and very uncomfortable conversation about how many Americans in general just don't care. I think a lot of people are not ready for that conversation. It's a hard conversation, you know, but I think we need to have a conversation about how many people actually just don't give a fuck. Like, actually just don't care. We'll argue about, oh, we need to have a unified movement. Should it be trying to take into the Democratic Party? Should we be trying to take over the Democratic Party? Should we have a third party movement? Should we have a party where it kind of disowns both parties and we try to bring together the working class from both? And it's like, a lot of people just don't actually give a fuck. That is the depressing reality, is that like, not only are a lot of right wingers stupid and they don't share our interests, like they're so committed to their racism that they would literally actually hurt themselves economically. That was something I had to come to terms to, which was hard. Realizing like a lot of white people, especially that are poor, would rather side with their racism and their white supremacy than they would to organize around class solidarity. And then also, Aggie, what are you doing? And then also the realization that a lot of people just don't care. Like when people, and also a lot of people have checked out. They've just checked out. Like when people talk about like, oh, you need a damn exit. A lot of people already have. And they did that by just stopping participating altogether. That's why if you look at the differences between the 2020 election and the 2024 election, it was like what, 5 million people literally that voted in 2020 for Joe Biden that did not come out in 2024. And a lot of people said, oh, that's just because they were sexist and it was Kamala Harris. No, a lot of people did not come out because from 2020 to 2024, the Democrats did not deliver in a lot of the things that they were supposed to deliver on. So a lot of people stayed home. Also, the genocide, people were rightfully upset about the genocide. And Kamala Harris told the people that were upset about the genocide to go kick rocks. And so those people stayed home. A lot of people, unfortunately, just don't care. Like they literally don't care. And it's depressing as fuck. It actually is it honestly is a black pill. Oh, it really was 13. I don't know why I thought it was 5. Honestly, we should fact check that, but I think if that's the case, that's even more depressing. Okay, hold on. Let me Google it real quick. How many, I just want to make sure I'm getting this correctly. People who voted for Joe Biden stayed home in 2024. Just give me the answer. Gemini sucks. Like, I don't want your stupid, like, Reddit links. Just give me the fucking answer. Wow. Wow. You're fucking stupid. I just need somebody to explain to me why Google went to shit. Somebody needs to explain to me why Google went to shit. Can I tell Google Gemini why they suck? Why do you suck, Gemini? Why do you suck? $12 to $19 million. It can't be 19 million. That's insane. Approximately 12 to 19 million. That's crazy. But at least Grok gave me like an actual answer. Google Gemini was just like, wow, according to the comprehensive, they're saying why instead of actually showing me how many people did, which again, Gemini sucks. And I don't know why Google sucks so much, but like, Gemini's like, well, according to it, the reason why is because of economic issues, foreign policy, and by that they mean the Gaza genocide. But then at least Grok actually just gives me a number. Approximately 12 to 19 million people, which seems incredibly high. But you know, the point is the same, that when it comes to the way that the way that voter patterns, like, you know, come out, what's like crazy about it is that regardless of how you slice it, that's like a large majority. So to go back to Mark's comment, like that in a way was the exit. You know what I mean? Like that was the exit. People just stopped giving a shit. They just stopped showing up. They didn't show up in 2020. Thank you, Mark, for the super chat. All of us want the same thing and have to come together. Yes, exactly. But that's what I'm saying is so depressing about it, is that like it's true, but then people just check out. They just check out. So like the 2024 election kind of was the Dem exit. Millions of people were just like, okay, we're done. But the problem is, which is also a really depressing black pill, is that they didn't say, okay, we're done with the Democratic Party. Now we're going to organize into a third party. Now we're going to organize a general strike. No, a lot of them just were like, fuck it, I'm just done and I'm going to go back to like my life. Like, I'm not going to participate at all. Like, they didn't leave the Democratic Party or not vote for Democrats and then go somewhere else or go independent or go third party. What just happened to my AC? Is there a ghost in here? They just stopped participating. They just checked out. And that's what most people do. And that's what's depressing. Thank you, Thomas, for the Cash App. I see you. Thank you, Thomas, for sending me the $1.99 Cash App. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thank you also, Comrade Cranky, for the $2 super chat. Viva España. I know, I saw that. I was like, but that's why I was like, why are all these people wearing fucking like stupid ass things like Argentina shirts? Like, so embarrassing. Okay, so we actually do have to watch the Boomer Mar thing, you guys. We have to watch it. How do you... No. We have to watch the Boomer Mar thing. And the thing that makes me laugh about the Boomer Mar thing is like basically his entire function is just to get Republicans to be like, oh my gosh, even Bill Maher. Like, that's all he does. Like, that's literally what he's for. Oh my gosh, even Bill Maher. But like, I'm really tired of Boomer Mar's why I left the left grift. Like, this has been going on for a decade. Like, he's been doing this why I left the left bullshit for the better part of a decade. But then every time he does it, every time he does it, we still have to hear well, even Bill Maher. What do you mean, even Bill Maher? Bill Maher is a conservative at this point. Bill Maher is a conservative at this point. So what do you mean? Thank you so much for the super chat, Prolette. The status quo benefits Americans mostly. That's why Americans don't go organize when you have something to lose. Bad and Banana has a great video on this. Yeah, Bad and Banana, he's so hit or miss, you know? I feel like Bad and Banana says some things that I'm like, bruh. Also, unrelated, but doesn't Bad and Banana live in Argentina, which is kind of funny because that's just super long. But anyway, if you have a link to that, Prolette, I would watch that. Because I do like some of Bad and Banana's videos, despite the fact that he can be, I don't know. It's hard to kind of describe him, but he has some he's kind of insane on some things, but like also like he's also can be interesting and does say some interesting things and does definitely make some good points. But if you have that link, please send it to the Twitch chat or put it in the Discord. I don't know if you're in the Discord. Because I would definitely watch that. That sounds interesting. Search the American supremacist left. Okay. I'll write that. I'll make a note of that. Oops. Because that would be interesting to watch. Because I think there's probably truth to that. I mean, I'm sure there is. Because the reason why it's piquing my interest, and I think that you're probably right about that. I don't see it. All right, I'll look for it later. I don't see it. But the reason why I think that it's piquing my interest, and I think that you're probably right about that, is because, like you just said, and we were talking about, a lot of Americans actually don't care. They either don't actually want to change the status quo, they're fine with it, or they don't care. They've just checked out. They've given up. Now, obviously, that's not a lot of hey, thank you so much for the gifted subs. So I think that I think that that is one of the problems that we run into a lot, is that like a lot of people don't actually give a shit. And they're okay with the status quo. Or those who do give a shit, a lot of people just check out because they've like given up. Which is depressing. Yes, but talk about losing, Don. Like what was it? Another American just got killed in the war he started, the war he, had to have, the Epstein class had to have on Iran. Now more Americans were killed. And they're definitely lying about how many it's been. They're definitely lying. Yes, this is correct. This is correct. There is no middle class. It is a K-shaped economy. Correct. But unfortunately, like I said, a lot of people are either comfortable with the status quo and they don't care, or those who do care, a lot of them are exhausted and checked out and have given up. A lot of people have just given up. Like, I've met people and I've talked to people where they're like, I agree with what you're saying. The country's so fucked up. We have to do something about it, but there's no point because it's really corrupt. Like, people are like, I don't care. Like, it's really corrupt. Like, it's, it's a lost cause. America's a lost cause. Like, it's just going to collapse. Like, it's too corrupt to try to change or fix or like whatever. So, like, a lot of people, they're just checked out, or they don't care. They think that there's no point. They're like, there's no point in trying to do anything about it because it's really corrupt and there's nothing we can do about it anyway. And the rich own everything. And it is a K-shaped economy and the wealthy controlled and the billionaires controlled and the corporations controlled, which is all true. But that doesn't lead everybody to the same conclusion. Even though that's all true, it doesn't always lead everybody to the same, this is what we should do about it. There are people that are like, oh, this is the case, let's try to fight it. But then there are a lot of people that will acknowledge that this is happening and go, yes, this is happening. Yes, the country is really fucked up. Yes, the billionaires and the corporation owns it. What are you going to do? That sucks. It sucks. It sucks. But like, what are you going to do? You know, and that's kind of their, unfortunately, that's their answer to it. Their answer to it is, oh, wow, it is really fucked up. Oh, wow, it does really suck. But like, what are you going to do? The country's corrupt anyway. Everybody's corrupt. Politics are corrupt. The politicians are corrupt. What are you going to do? And then they just check out. It's like, it's very depressing. It's very blackpilling. Thank you so much for the super chat, Pixel Goat. Politics makes me feel icky, slide it under the rug, ignore it. Now I'm going to DoorDash some nuggies and play Power. I mean, but like, actually. But like, you're right. It's like depressing. Yes, like that's true. True. It's depressing. But you are correct. You are correct, Pixel Goat. Unfortunately. I wish that was not the case. I wish that was not the case. All right, so I do want to watch that Boomer thing now that you brought it up, but we also have to watch because they're on a full court press of propaganda against Abdul al-Sayed. Oh my gosh, it is crazy. Oh, is there a bot in here? I should get rid of that. Yeah, the bots are annoying. Yeah. Yeah, you would think that some of the bots would be better because like AI is more advanced, but they're not. They're not. Okay. What I want to watch first is the Tapper Jake interview with Abdul al-Sayed because they're on a full court press. They are attacking him, attacking him, attacking him, attacking him. Oh, that's what. Oh, I guess it's on I just passed this on my way trying to find the video. There is no strategic goal that was worth this girl's life. In Iran. Also there's no strategic goal at all. There's no strategic goal at all. Actually. Of course he does, because he's a pathetic, disgusting bootlicker. Benjamin Netanyahu will not be arrested in any way, shape, or form while in the United States of America. Girl, shut the fuck up. Yeah, because you're a pathetic, bought and paid for Zionist bootlicker who will do anything that your daddy, who's your actual boss, tells you to do. Miriam Adelson writes him a fucking $400 million check and is like, you better not arrest Netanyahu. Oh, you better not arrest him. And because Trump is in the Epstein files and controlled by the Epstein class and controlled by the Israeli regime, and Netanyahu's like, no, I promise I'll defend you. I promise I'll defend you. What a fucking loser. Oh my gosh. Pathetic. Absolutely fucking pathetic. Anyway, where's that? Sorry, where's that? I need to find that Tapper Jake thing. I get so distracted, you guys. You guys know how it be. Thank you for bearing with me because you guys know how my ADHD be. Like, hold on, let me fix the AC. Getting a little bit cringe in here. Oh my gosh, you guys look at Eggie. Oh, my little baby. My little baby. Okay. Yeah, so I forgot to get a napkin, but that's okay. I'm going to read your super chats and then we are going to watch um we're going to watch the insanely embarrassing interview with Tapper Jake, who's a racist and an Islamophobe and a piece of shit. And he is like auditioning for Barry Weiss. And then we'll watch the Boomer one later. But I want to watch the Tapper Jake one first because he's such a fucking loser. And he does get this like glow of credibility because he's in mainstream media and he's a liberal. Get the fuck, like, I can't. I just can't. I can't with Tapper Jake. Hold on, let me read these super chats real quick, which I appreciate you guys. Make no mistake, I hate what Trump is doing in Iran, but I feel like Iran gets their nukes from the same place that Wile E. Coyote gets his. Yeah, but also I don't think I'm understanding this. I'm picking up on the fact that this is kind of a joke, but I'm also like, wait, they don't have any. But I guess maybe that's the Wile E. Coyote joke. Anyway, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Paulette, for the super chat. I'm really concerned that Newsom 28 or whoever will just funnel all that energy against Dems back into the center, just like Obama did. Yeah, the problem, though, the reason why I get what you're saying, and I am concerned about that too, but it has to be somebody more talented if they're going to do that. They're going to funnel the energy like back in because Gavin Newsom is not that talented. He's not. Gavin Newsom sucks. No, if Gavin Newsom is the nominee in 2028, then, which they shouldn't make him because I'm not voting for that clown. Find somebody else. Like, I'm not doing that. Find somebody else. But too many people hate him, and he has a really bad record. You know, people did not hate Obama. Obama was new. He didn't have a long record, and he was incredibly talented and likable in a way that Gavin Newsom is just not. And again, Gavin Newsom has a record that is not good. He has a lot of things that people can hate on him for, you know? No, it's going to be some liberal Zionist who plays both sides to win. No, totally, because that's what they all do. That's what they all do. And it's actually infuriating. Like, it's actually infuriating. Can I open this? I think I can. I'm gonna bring some like natural light in here too. I feel like I should get a napkin, but I don't want to get up to get a napkin until I pee. But imagine where the U.S. would be without Trump. Well, I can tell you one thing. That girl would be alive. Imagine where the world will be without Trump. She'd be alive. So we know that much. Because this war did not need to happen. Did not need to happen. This is an Epstein class war. This war was started by our idiot president because Israel wanted it to happen. Netanyahu wanted it to happen so they can expand to greater Israel. There is no strategic interest of the U.S. There is no strategic interest for the U.S. in Iran. There's not. There's not. That was like because Israel wanted this war and Trump works for Israel. He works for Miriam Adelson. She didn't give him that money for nothing. Netanyahu wanted it, and the Epstein class wanted it. So there's no interest for us, and that girl should be alive today. So imagine where the world or America would be without Trump. We wouldn't be in a war with Iran. Probably. And if we were, it wouldn't be this stupid. I'm always amazed at how dumb they are. Yeah. So, he's fucking embarrassing. Okay, so let's watch this Tapper Jake thing. So, as you guys know, there has been a very coordinated effort to attack Abdul Al Sayed. And there has been, I made a video about it. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I made a video about it talking about how there's been an incredibly like over the top coordinated effort to pay influencers and shit to post propaganda on behalf of Haley Stevens because obviously nobody likes her. Like, let's not pretend that she has like some organic following, okay? That is so not the case. So there's been like a very like obvious effort from like all of these like Hillary Clinton dead enders to push Haley Stevens and to try to make her happen. And it's really obvious. And that was what the video was about. And so they've been attacking Abdul Al Sayed. Plus, AIPAC has put about $50 million into the race. And they're about to put more because he's still polling higher. So he's still polling higher. So they're about to pour a lot more money into this race, which is why it's so funny when Haley Stevens is like, where's Abdul Al Sayed's tax returns? It's like, bro, you're literally getting tens of millions of dollars from corporations in AIPAC. Okay. I don't think you want to play the corruption game. I don't think you want to play the corruption game. I will. I'll be getting to this in just one moment. Tapper Jake is scum. He's scum. He's not a real fucking journalist. He's a Zionist hack. So, yes, I will be getting to why he's trash. Trust and believe. I'll be getting to that in short order. Oh yeah, no, I totally agree. And by the way, hey Milena, good to see you. Yeah, that actually pissed me off. Like it actually pissed me off that he apologized. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, so in any event, that was what that video was about, and also the very obvious because you guys, they're literally running the exact same playbook that Hillary Clinton ran against Bernie Sanders. It's the same exact one. Like actually the same exact one. He's sexist. So, in fact, I'll just play the video for those of you who haven't seen it because I need to pee anyway. And then we'll watch the Tapper Jake thing. Hold on, where are my videos? Yeah, I'll just play it really quick. And then I'll pee while we do, so then we can talk about it. Oh, and we should also make fun of this clown. Z coming out and being like, actually, while she's paddling around with this fascist Zionist op Cenk Lang who like goes around and like tries to terrorize Muslim people. Remind me to do that later if we have time. If we have time, we can get to that later. But if not, but I definitely want to get to this. So I'm going to play this Haley Stevens one that I did for context for those of you who haven't seen it. And then I will we'll watch the Tapper Jake thing. Because again, this is very astroturfed and I need everybody to remember that, okay? I need everybody to remember that this whole thing is incredibly astroturfed. And it's a fairly obvious op. It's a very obvious op, okay? I need to make my screen bigger. The Hillary Clinton dead ender. So it's a very obvious op. And again, it's the same playbook that they ran against Bernie Sanders and Barack Obama, frankly, in 2008 and in 2016 and in 2020, where they do the Bernie bro thing. They call everybody sexist. They say that Black voters don't support them, which is a lie. And then they try to use that to pretend that Haley Stevens is somehow somebody who appeals to Black voters and also is a victim of sexism. It's very tired, and it's always the same people. It's always the same people and the paid influencers. Don't get it twisted. They are paying people to put out content about her to try to make her look good. Nothing about this is organic, nothing. So I'm going to play it and I'm going to go pee and get more coffee. And then we'll watch the Tapper Jake thing. Also, by the way, just a reminder that again, as we go do this, that it's your support that makes this possible. And I love you all so much for everybody's here. So shout out to all my Ko-Fi members and my patrons. You can support my channel by supporting me on Patreon or Ko-Fi by just signing up to pledge support every month. You can also support me by becoming a member on Twitch or on YouTube on any of my channels. And also sending super chats during the stream. So sending super chats during the stream helps a lot. So thank you to everybody who has already sent super chats and anybody who does. It helps the channel. It helps the channel get seen by more people. It helps it in the algorithm. And also by becoming a member and also by supporting me monthly on Patreon or Ko-Fi. And also by tipping me on Cash App and Venmo. So I love, so I appreciate everybody who does that, who sends me tips on Cash App or Venmo, and also who sends super chats during the stream and becomes a member. So shout out to all of you. I love you so much. Now I'm going to go pee while this plays. Please also make sure that you like and subscribe to all my channels. Thank you. And now let's watch this. And shout out to my mods. They're not here right now, but also shout out to them. Love them. Great mods. I have great mods. From 2008, these kind of like white women brigade of like Islamophobes that were running Islamophobic campaigns actually against Barack Obama back in 2008 when they were all shilling for Hillary Clinton never go away. Okay, so they're back in business running an influence campaign for Haley Stevens. Stick it to them. What gives? You got this cohort of these like anti-Arab, racist, Islamophobic white women like her and that alleged gun safety advocate Shannon Watts, who doesn't actually do any gun safety advocacy. And all of them do now is attack the left and do like Islamophobia on behalf of their own identity politics for white women. So they've been crying about how everyone's just so sexist to Haley Stevens. It's just like sexism and misogyny. And that's why people are laughing at her Simpson character voice. And don't think that they haven't perfected it, okay? Because these white women have been working on their identity politics for a long time, okay? They did it in 2008. They did it in 2016. They did it in 2020. And now they're back for the midterm races doing the exact same campaign. And of course, they have their entire influence operation running where all of the people are repeating the same shit. They're literally doing the laziest influence operation the same way that like the right wing does it, where they coordinate their messaging and then just all put out a statement on X and Threads. But we all know they're being paid because ain't nobody that enthusiastic about Haley Stevens. Be serious. So you need to be aware of what they're doing because none of these people are required to disclose if and by who they are getting paid from to do propaganda for these establishment Democrats. This was the latest one that we saw running. Oh, she's growing on me. But they've all been running these very obvious ops where they're all crying about how everyone's sexist toward her. And Abdul al-Sayed is a sexist, scary Muslim. And then he put out an apology because people were making fun of her, saying that she sounded like a Simpson character and Drewski, which she does. Here's the problem with this. This is why progressives don't win, by the way. This is why the left never wins. Because weak as fuck. Weak-kneed as fuck. You get attacked online and then you immediately crumble and apologize. Is Haley Stevens and her racist-ass campaign going to apologize for her racist Islamophobic supporters doing sexist fucking anti-Arab bigotry against them? Stop apologizing. All right. So you guys got the context. Of this very obvious op. An AstroTurf campaign. It's very AstroTurf, you guys. So now let's get to this clown. Wait, where is it? Here we go.
Last night with Bernie and AOC. I want to play something you said at this rally in Detroit last night.
Are we going to let 50 million in lies steal this election? Hell no. Are we going to let Trump donors, billionaires, and AIPAC lies steal this election?
Steal this election is a pretty stark term. I haven't really heard it used since 2024. To be clear, this is a close race. Congresswoman Haley Stevens is a 4-term congresswoman endorsed by outgoing Senator Gary Peters. Are you saying that if you don't win this election, it will be because it was stolen?
That is so bad faith. He's such a bad faith hack with his fake earnestness. Tapper Jake putting on his sincere eyes, being like, get the fuck out of here. That's not even what he was saying. But again, these people always have to pretend that money in politics isn't a thing. They always have to pretend that money in politics is not a nefarious force. And that it has no impact on the outcome. They always act like it has no impact on the outcome. He's such a fucking liar.
I believe in the rigor of the democratic process, Jake, but I also believe that the corruption of billionaire money, AIPAC money, to the tune of $50 million being spent is anti-democratic on its own terms.
True.
If you were to take all the outside spending in this race out, this would not be a close election, but it speaks to the way that, unfortunately, money from DTE, our local utility, money from Blue Cross Blue Shield, money from AIPAC has come in to try to truck this election in favor of somebody who they know is going to do their business instead of the people's. And I think that's anti-democratic on its own terms. It's why I'm running on getting money out of politics so we can put money back in people's pockets and pass Medicare for all.
So the attacks on Haley Stevens are also at issue. I know there are a lot of attack ads against you, but there are so many attacks on Haley Stevens that on Friday you posted, quote, "It's become impossible to ignore the way that people online make fun of my opponent for things that have nothing to do with her policies or politics. It's unconscious."
So embarrassing. But I love how he can't wait to move on to the next thing. No, but you guys are being mean to Haley Stevens. So embarrassing. Again, and by the way, this is what happens when you apologize to bad faith actors. They're literally showing you what they do. They're weaponizing it against him in real time. This is why you don't fucking apologize. This is why the left is so embarrassing and always apologize. Why are you apologizing? Because you know what that apology did? Nothing. Except, actually, no, it did worse than nothing. He's weaponizing it against him here. He's pulling up his apology to say, look at how horrible your supporters are online. What purpose? What purpose did this serve aside from give Tapper Jake ammunition to attack you? To weaponize it against you. Shouldn't have apologized.
And unhelpful, unquote. It's true that there are some really harsh comments about Haley Stevens that I've seen. Here's one. Quote, "She's a suit with a large AIPAC bank account. That's it. She can't string together two coherent sentences. She's a sellout who forgot how to think for herself. Corporate money can't buy her a personality." Do you know who said that? That was you in your campaign.
And I want to speak to that because every single time we talk about all the outside money coming in as a crutch in this election, it seems as though we're not hearing any explanation as to why.
Gotcha. Gotcha. You know who said that? Oh my gosh, he sucks so bad.
I think we saw some of it last week when the Congresswoman voted in favor of sending $3.3 billion of our tax dollars that should be spent on our healthcare and our schools to a foreign government to buy bombs and tanks. I would really like to hear a fulsome explanation of exactly what the trade-off has been. And unfortunately, $50 million doesn't fall off trees, doesn't come from nowhere. It comes because there's been some expectation on the back. So I want to know what was said to get that money into this election.
And again, this is why Tapper Jake is a hack, and he's tap dancing and trying out for Barry Weiss, now that Barry Weiss and the Ellisons are taking over CNN. First of all, he didn't even need the audition because Tapper Jake is already a genocidal, psychotic, delusional, deranged, narcissistic Zionist, okay? That's already the case, okay? But it's worse than that now because now the Ellisons are taking it over, so it's going to get even more comical. It's going to get even more over the top, the Zionism. But also, this is what I want people to understand about what a hack people like Tapper Jake are, and all of these people, Dana Fash and everybody else, Morning Blow and all of them, okay? They always pretend that they always play dumb. You think Jake Tapper doesn't understand what he's saying about money and politics? Kind of like, did you? Okay, I'll let you up, Melvin. Kind of like, them playing, like, you playing dumb, acting like you don't know that money in politics has a massive effect. They're playing dumb because they're corrupt too. Who do you think they run those ads on? They run those ads on CNN. The defense industry, the healthcare companies, like, you guys know this. You watch the news every once in a while. If you're in an airport or something or wherever, and you notice that all the commercials are pharmaceutical commercials, they're healthcare company commercials, they're defense industry commercials, their cable company commercials, their phone industry commercials. Like, they literally put tens of millions of dollars into these companies through advertising. And then he pretends it's his job to go on there and pretend like he doesn't know that money in politics has an effect. So it's that corruption. He's corrupt, just like CNN is corrupt. But then also it is the fact that it's also ideological for people like Tapper Jake. He is a Zionist. He's a psychotic, deranged Zionist. And he's also very racist and Islamophobic. And he's very racist toward Arabs. Like they all are. They're all fucking racist toward Arabs and racist towards Muslim, or Islamophobic towards Muslim, bigoted towards Muslims. So they all have the same kind of line of questioning. It's why they talk to Rashida Tlaib the way they do. And they talk about Ilhan Omar the way they do. But then it's all the crocodile tears constantly for Zionists. It's why they cried for years and years and years about Ilhan Omar saying it was all about the Benjamins, but then people are Islamophobic to him all the time and he hasn't said anything. When Palestinians get killed, he doesn't say anything. When Muslims are discriminated against and people are racist toward Rashida Tlaib because she's Palestinian, where's Tapper Jake and Dana Fash? No? But then you criticize Israel. But then when they criticize Israel, they cry. If people are criticizing Israel, anybody that criticizes Israel, they cry. So he's corrupt, right? And he's also working for them, but he is also ideologically a lunatic Zionist, okay? So that's also. Actually, they're not doing their job. First of all, it's embarrassing that you're getting so butthurt over it. They're doing their goddamn jobs. It's like, first of all, calm down. Do you work for Pfizer? Like, calm down. Do you work for CNN? Is this Tapper Jake behind this Lady Dark Knight? Is that you, Jake? Okay, first of all, calm down. But second of all, actually, no, it's not your job to lie on behalf of moneyed interests, actually. I get that these people pay to advertise on CNN or other cable outlets. They pay to advertise on MSNBC or MS Now or whatever the fuck. I get that. I understand. I understand how the relationship of advertising works. They should still have to disclose it. They should still have to disclose it. They should still have to not lie and pretend it doesn't have influence on politics. Yeah, that actually is their job. Kind of like how they come on there and they don't disclose that the politicians that they interview are lobbyists. And it is a lie by omission. It is a lie by omission because you're pretending to play dumb and not know that moneyed interests have an effect on politics. And then they bring on people that work for the defense industry to be the experts on war. And then they don't disclose that they're part of the defense industry or working for the defense industry or that they're lobbyists. What my point is that Abdul El-Sayed is saying something that is incredibly obvious that we all know. And yet these clowns like Tapper Jake get on there and try to gaslight us and pretend like it's not an issue. Like they don't know. Like it has no effect. And also, like I said, because he's also racist and Islamophobic and he's racist against Palestinians, they will get on here and be like, you were so mean to Haley Stevens. You were so mean to Haley Stevens. But then somebody will be incredibly racist and Islamophobic toward Abdul El-Sayed and Rashida Tlaib. And they'll be like, anyway, because they agree. It's why they invite Randy Swine on. Because they're racist too. All right, there's more clips of this. I don't even know. Is there like... They might actually just have a full interview. American journalist, lol. How it comes up. Of course they don't have it. CNN sucks, bro. They actually suck. They never have anything on YouTube, even though they have a channel. All right, we'll just find it on Twitter.
It's interesting, though, because you talk about support for Israel.
It's interesting, though, is it? It's not really that interesting, actually. You're just saying that because you want to do another smear. When people go like, it's interesting. It's interesting. Is it? Is it? Is it, though?
And so you had a huge rally last night with Bernie and AOC. I want to play something you said at this rally.
It is also, okay, so he's winning, so that's good. But you know, because it's close, it's about a 4-point, which still could be in the margin of error. You know they're fixing to pour in even more money. Because again, this isn't just about having Haley Stevens win. AIPAC wants to make examples out of Democrats who challenge them, who are running, like Abdul El-Sayed. So they're going to pour even more money into it because they want to make an example out of him.
As you talk about support for Israel, the New York
Israel
leader was killed. You told your staff, according to audio obtained by the Washington Free Beacon, quote, there are a lot of people in Dearborn.
This is such an insane, this again is what I'm saying. He's such a racist piece of shit that he's trying to conflate him being like, But it sounds like you like the Ayatollah. Sounds like it. Like, why when you say you want to make a comment on it? You haven't said shit about all the Palestinians who have been killed by Israel. You literally haven't said shit. I need to turn this off. It's actually just racist because they're like, oh, well, you seem to be really like sympathetic and you didn't really want to make a statement about the Ayatollah. But then it's like all of these Palestinians have been killed by the Israeli regime. Lebanese people have been killed. People in Iran have been killed. And yet you're like, people have been killed by us in America, our military. Like all those little girls at that school. And is he concerned about that? Is he concerned about that? Is he concerned about that? Is Tapper J concerned about that? Bro. No, of course he's not concerned about that because he's a racist. And again, he always tries to make it look like he's just very concerned, you guys. He's just very concerned.
Who are sad today. So like, I just don't want to comment on Khamenei at all, unquote. I thought that quote was interesting because the Ayatollah has killed.
I love how he keeps saying it's interesting as if he isn't totally bad faith. No, this is so bad faith. I just like thought it was interesting because it kind of seems like to me you might be an Ayatollah supporter. Is it? Is it? Bro.
Tens of thousands of innocent Iranians, not to mention the proxies that Iran has funded that have killed innocent civilians.
I love how they just use different words. You mean allies, but they'll be like the proxies to make it sound scarier.
It's all over the Middle East. Why were you worried about offending people who support the Ayatollah?
Jake, on a day where we're mourning the loss of 2 more service members in a war we never should have fought, I think all of us ought to step back and ask whether or not everybody in Michigan, frankly, everybody in America, shouldn't be sad about the fact that this president, backed by the prime minister of a foreign government, took us to a war we had no business fighting in. So yeah, I didn't want to comment on it then because it's a ridiculous pretext. And now you're asking me about the Ayatollah, who's dead, by the way, and you're not.
Which again, I mean, he's really good at answering the questions though. Like he's good that he doesn't like fumble like I feel like a lot of people do. Where, you know, he actually like has a good answer to it. And that is a good answer. And that is a good answer because it's like, wait a second. Think about what a joke Tapper Jake is. You're supposed to be a journalist. And instead of asking him questions about the war that Trump just started, he's like, yeah, but you kind of like weren't upset enough about the Ayatollah. Why? I mean, that's a good answer from Abdul al-Sayed. Like, why aren't you asking me about the war? Why are you asking me about the fucking Ayatollah instead of asking me about the war? You think Americans give a fuck about how this guy feels about the Ayatollah? No, Americans actually care about what affects us, like gas prices, war, inflation, things that actually affect people losing their kids to war. That's what the American people actually care about. But this fucking hack, because again, he's an ideological, radical, lunatic Zionist, just like Boomer Mar and the rest of them, is like, okay, I know that Trump started an unconstitutional war he didn't even get congressional authorization from, and is getting American service members killed, and is spending all of your money. This is costing trillions of dollars. Billions of dollars is going to be in the trillions soon. and gas prices are getting out of control and he's destabilizing the entire world. But I know all that's happening. But you didn't even say anything about the Ayatollah. I'm so sorry. We're supposed to believe that this is a journalist? We're supposed to believe that this is supposed to be a journalist. Okay. Okay. No. These people are not journalists. These people work for the ruling class, and their job is to get you to accept their premises. That's their job. Their job is to get you to accept their premises. Their job is to say, well, actually, sure, we could be asking you questions about war. We could be asking you questions about war and the American taxpayer paying for that war. Or I could ask you questions about the Ayatollah. So they're the ones setting, they claim that this is for, you know, we're going to be asking you questions on behalf of the war, whatever. But they're not asking him that. They're not asking him that. They're asking him stupid ass questions about the fucking Ayatollah because they want to set the agenda to get you to believe that this is what the important questions are, so that you accept that, so that you accept the slop that they're feeding you and don't say, hey, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. Why are you asking about this? They do this to set the agenda. They do this to set the agenda. They do this to set the respectable perimeters of the conversation, the dialogue, so that you don't ask any further questions. And then they do it with a suit and a tie on in a, you know, nice building in Manhattan, which I actually worked for a little bit in the same building that CNN did. And I confronted Wolf Blitzer one time, but I don't remember what I said. Like, I actually forget what I said when I confronted him. Like, when I went up to him, because I saw him outside of a CNN event that fucking what's his bucket was at. It was Abby Phillip and the one, what is the name of the guy that's so bad? Crystal Liza. He's literally always wrong about everything. And then I was in the elevator with that Jim guy, not Jim Acosta, the other one that kept being like, the dam is breaking. All right.
You're not asking me about the service members who've died. You're not asking me about whether or not this war should have ever been fought. You're not asking me about whether or not the costs that are being borne by Michiganders in the tax dollars we pay or the gas prices that are insane right now are worth it. And so, look, let's have a conversation based in Michigan. I'm running for Senate in Michigan. And I think here in Michigan, all of us are probably sad about the fact that we went to war that we never should have fought. I'd rather our money be spent here. I
was specifically asking you about comments you didn't want to make because you didn't want to offend people in Dearborn, which is in Michigan.
Oh, butthurt. He's all butthurt.
Ernie and AOC. I want to play something.
I saw this one.
I think it's kind to make fun of somebody for how they, I'll be clear. I don't think it's kind to make fun of somebody for how they talk or how they show up. I also don't think it's kind to make insinuations about somebody's character as is being done to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. And here's the thing about it. I've known the Congresswoman for a very long time. In fact, she's met my daughters. My daughter, 8 years old, she told her, you should be really proud of your dad. Although her allies are now running ads to say that somehow I'm disrespectful to women, which my daughter is now hearing about. So I'd like to hear the same kindness. I want to know whether or not the Congresswoman also thinks that that's unkind and unright. I'll be clear. I don't think it's kind to make fun of somebody for how they talk or how they show up. I also don't think it's kind to make insinuations about somebody's character as is being done to the tune of tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah,
here's the thing about
how come she hasn't apologized to him? Thank you for the super chat, Pixel Goat. That's funny. Take a shot whenever a lib says something interesting. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat, Comrade Cranky. Dying in combat is definitely being all you can be. Let's see what Hassan was saying about it.
Environments, and I would go so far as to say this is probably more contentious. Okay, in the most contentious environments, and I would go so far as to say this is probably more contentious than Fox News. It's crazy,
Yes!
but I think Jake Tapper is probably a tougher interview for someone like Abdul al-Sayed than the average Fox News guy.
True.
Because unlike Fox News, he has prestige amongst liberals, and he always will weaponize the legitimacy that he has in liberal circles to attack Muslims.
True.
Okay.
Indisputably
And
true.
that is, I think, a more difficult conversation to have than to talk to a hostile Republican.
That's true.
However, one thing that I find particularly strange about this is Jake Tapper recently had the President of the United States of America on his broadcast. He's supposed to be a liberal guy. Sure, the conversation took place after Lindsey Graham's death. Having said that, the fact that Jake Tapper was far less contentious with the fascist Republican president of the United States of America than he is with a progressive running for Senate in Michigan on a platform of universal health care and disavowing AIPAC, a platform that the overwhelming majority of Democrats agree with. The fact that he's more contentious on an interview like this shows exactly what Jake Tapper believes.
Yep.
Jake Tapper
He's racist.
finds Abdul al-Sayed to be a far more negative influence in American politics than even Donald Trump. It's clear. It's clear.
Coherent sentences. She's a sellout who forgot how to think for herself. Corporate money can't buy her.
You said we should beat the Republicans. Are you a beater?
who
Aren't
said
you
that?
woke Trump?
That was you.
Yeah, but what's amazing is that is how they operate. It remains true that they would rather side with a fascist Republican than with somebody who is progressive. Literally. Every time. Every time. When do you see them go, you know what, you're right. We should side with the left because at least it's the Republicans.
So when
there was
Iran's
one
supreme leader was
more.
killed, you told your staff.
Of us ought to step back and ask whether or not everybody in Michigan, frankly, everybody in America, shouldn't be sad about the fact that this president, backed by the prime minister of a foreign government, took us to a war we had no business fighting in. So yeah, I didn't want to comment on it then because it's a ridiculous pretext. And now you're asking me about the Ayatollah, who's dead, by the way, and you're not asking me about the service members who've died. You're not.
Is that my thinking about Hakeem is that he hasn't been the most effective minority leader at all. And the AIPAC situation is so blaring. What's your take on that?
The AIPAC situation is, I went to a meeting of CBC members, and this was in Mississippi. And I didn't get any applause for it, but I told them from the stage, you all have to divorce yourself from AIPAC. You have to divorce AIPAC. Like that divorce needs to happen
Immediately.
now, because as long as AIPAC money is flowing into your coffers, you're never going to be truly free to tell the truth about our foreign policy. People, it's not going to ever be acceptable, even to MAGA people, to spend American tax dollars for a genocide.
Right. My thinking about Hakeem.
She's right. She's right. That's why when they were all acting, Blue MAGA was acting like it was such a big deal that the Congressional Black Caucus endorsed Haley Stevens. I'm like, that's not, like, you're acting like that's some big thing. Yeah, of course they did. They take tons of AIPAC money. They have, I mean, divorce is a good way to put it because they do have a very comfortable relationship. Why isn't this working? With AIPAC. How do you... Oh, I see. I see. Wait, is it like this? Oh, I see. Okay. Like that. Gotcha. Yeah, I love when people are like, if the Democrats don't stop criticizing Israel, John Fetterman might leave. Okay, bye. Bye. No, actually, there should be no room, actually, for Israel support. There actually should not be any support. The Ayatollah of rock and rolla, Comrade Craigie. Thank you, Comrade Craigie, for the super chat. Yeah, they need to divorce themselves from that. She's right. Because you're right. So long as you're taking money from these people, you can't tell the truth about them. And that's the point. That's actually the point.
You're not asking me about whether or not
That was it on him. And again, these people are paid, you guys. Like, they're actually paying influencers to do propaganda for Haley Stevens. Let's be serious. And again, you really think that they're actually caring about, like, do you actually think that anybody, which of course nobody does, Tapper Jake is fake as fuck, that, like, you actually think that any of these people would believe that Haley Stevens would get $50 million in AIPAC spending if they didn't think they were going to get a return on their investment? Does anybody really think that if they didn't think they were gonna get a return on their investment? And again, Tapper Jake is such a fucking loser because he can't even ask him any real questions. He won't even ask him any real questions. Oh my gosh, my leg. My leg is actually starting to like peel because it got burnt. Damn it. It's very annoying. This is all my fault. And now I look like I'm wearing makeup on my legs because my legs are so tan. And only up to my knee, though. Ugh, that's very annoying. Anyway, yeah, so Tapper Jake is a clown, and he is a genocide supporter and a racist and an Islamophobe and a bigot. And he hates Arabs and he hates Muslims and he's hateful and he's a Zionist extremist, lunatic extraordinaire fanatic, okay? When was the last time Tapper Jake or Dana Fashion invited Rashida Tlaib on their shows? Exactly. I don't think Rashida Tlaib has been on their show since 2019. And that was only when they brought her on to berate her about Ilhan Omar. Okay, so I also thought this was fun. Ben Shapiro actually having I'm pretty sure like a rare W on criticizing the right wing, the America First right wing, on being fans of Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, who by the way is such a coward, he loves to pretend that he's so cool, man. He's just so cool. He don't give a fuck. He's so cool. He literally blocked. I don't even remember what I said. I made fun of him and called him like Top Goy or something, and he blocked me. Like immediately blocked me. Like he's such a coward, Andrew Tate. And so Ben Shapiro's only rare W is when he calls them out for supporting Andrew Tate. Because if you really are so America First, really, you're so family oriented, you're so Christian, why would you support someone like that? But they all do. They all do. Very sauce. Very telling. Lol. Mm. I love how, first of all, embarrassing. I wasn't even playing it. I thought I was playing it. I wasn't. Why did you guys not tell me? I looked up at chat. I didn't see anything. Wow. Okay. Okay. That's so funny. But not. Okay. Like a solid minute went by. Nobody told me it wasn't playing.
Tucker, as I've mentioned, devoted hours of airtime proclaiming Tate's innocence. So did Candace. The vice president followed the Tate brothers on X. Paul Ingracia, who was
Why did
one of
he
the
change his studio? He had that one studio forever, and then he has this, which like just looks like a corporate office. Like, why though? And also, JD Vance follows everybody. He's like terminally online. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on JD Vance. I know his voice is really unbearable. It really is.
their lawyers, is now serving as a White House liaison. He had previously tweeted that Tate was, quote, the embodiment of the ancient ideal of excellence. That was why he had been targeted by, quote, the satanic elite that attempts to systematically program and oppress all men. You'll remember that the president's lawyer, Alina Habba, appeared on a podcast with Tate and said she was a big fan, and then she said she had his back. She then ended up walking that back. Now, is this a coincidence? It's all the same people. It's all the same people. These are the conspiracy theorists. These are the reactionary right, horseshoe theory people.
Horseshoe theory.
These are the Jews did the pornography, and did the Holocaust really happen? Simultaneously hugging Muslim pornographers who allege.
Okay, first of all, Muslim pornographers, they're not even Muslim. That's just him trying to throw some Islamophobia in there. That's just him trying to throw some Islamophobia in there. But what he's not wrong about is that a lot of, first of all, the horseshoe thing is bullshit. That's not a thing. But also what he is right about, though, is that the same reactionary right wing that claims to be like America First and is like, oh my gosh, porn should be banned and it's this and it's that. And, but, you know, and also, yeah, the Jews are behind porn and like say insane shit like that, will also simultaneously praise Andrew Tate, who is a sex trafficker. Allegedly. What? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Like, it's really embarrassing.
Nick Fuentes immediately tweeted out, free Andrew and Tristan Tate. Immediately. 1.8 million views on X, a repository of trash. Well, Nick Fuentes put out another tweet in which, again, he said, quote, it would be a national humiliation for the United States to allow the UK to extradite Andrew and Tristan Tate, two American citizens, over trumped-up Me Too charges. He's very defensive of these particular American citizens who currently have passports in the UK and Romania, by the way. The same country that persecutes white people for speech. Well,
what is so embarrassing? First of all, while importing allegedly rapist migrants, that is so racist. That's like, so, I mean, obviously it's coming from him and he's racist, but that's like such an insane thing to say. It's obviously made up. It's obviously an insane thing to say. It's obviously Islamophobic. It's obviously racist. And then it's like,
while importing rapist migrants. Now, I want you to notice the actual thing happening here. Nick Fuentes is constantly claiming to hate pornography. I mean, that's when he's not, having a window open with trans pornography on it. He claims to despise the Jews for supposedly having spread a pornographic culture, despite the fact that Judaism opposes pornography and finds it a sin. But he is defending actual honest-to-God pornographers.
I hate to have to give Ben Shapiro W, since he's so embarrassing and wrong all the time, and a warmongering psychotic lunatic Zionist who, of course, defended Lindsey Graham. Like, obviously, Ben Shapiro's trash, but he's not wrong about that. That is true. Like, how dare you sit there and call yourself Catholic and pretend that you care so much about Catholicism and Jesus and you're such a good Christian and you're so concerned about Muslim migrants because you're racist and Islamophobic and calling them all rapists, which is disgusting. And again, racist, calling them all rapists, calling them all rapists, and which is again incredibly racist and Islamophobic. But then they never have anything to say when predators are white. They never have anything to say when convicted rapists or sexual assaulters are white. Never, never, never. They never have anything to say about it. But then they lie about that, and they say that about Muslims, and they say that about migrants. But then they're defending Andrew and Tristan Tate. What? I mean, it's just so cringe. It's so cringe. Like, you guys are so full of shit. And you know what's amazing about it is, like libs of TikTok, every single time some story comes out, which is often about a church pastor being a predator, like a church pastor being a predator or a woman getting assaulted by a white man, they all of a sudden are nowhere to be found. Then all of a sudden they're nowhere to be found. Every time. Have you heard any of them call out Ken Paxton? Have you? Have any of yous heard them call out Ken Paxton for pardoning a child predator? Not pardoning, I'm sorry. It was commuting. His lawyer, his friend who was a lawyer, helped him out in getting his sentence commuted. Nope. Of course not. Of course not. I don't know why I'm even putting makeup on right now. Sometimes it's sitting here, and so I just will. Did you? Yeah, and do they ever say anything when it's white evangelicals? No, of course not. Of course they don't. Yeah, 0 arrests from the Epstein files. 0 arrests. But that's the thing that I can't handle, is that people let them get away with it. It's like, nobody should ever let them talk about protecting children again or opposing predators or assaulters or anything like that. Traffickers. No one should ever let them get away with pretending to care about that again, when all of them went promptly back to pretending the Epstein files didn't exist, and none of them have pushed for anyone on the files to get arrested. None of them. None of them have been like, where are the Epstein file arrests? None of them. None of them have been like, they're still going back to it as if they have credibility. People like Chaya Raichik and the libs of TikTok clown, she is still trying to go back to pretending to care about children. She's still trying to go back to pretending to care about predators and the children. The same person that lied and pretended she had access to the Epstein files, that lied and acted like she had that lied and pretended like she had access to the Epstein files. And then when it came out that they didn't and that they were lying, she just never talked about it again. She just never talked about it again and went right back like it ain't no thing to pretend to care about children again. So she pretended to care about the Epstein files, right? Then defended Trump trying to block their release and the Republicans trying to block their release. She defended that. Then got really silent on the Epstein files and is now back to pretending to care about kids while not calling for anybody to be arrested. While not calling for anybody to be arrested. While not calling for anybody to be arrested, she just went back to pretending to care about children and pretending to care and be a crusader against predators while ignoring and not calling for anybody in the Epstein files to be arrested. Incredible. Incredible things. No, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. They're so full of shit. They're so full of shit. It's unbelievable. But Republicans don't care. You know, I'm also over people pretending like Republicans are anti-war when they're not. Stop saying that Republicans are anti-war. The majority of Republicans and Trump supporters support the war on Iran. Stop pretending like they're anti-war. They're literally not. They're literally not. They support the war on Iran, even though it has no strategic interest to the U.S. Does it look like the war in Iran's helping us? Regular people. Because you're paying for it. You are paying for it. Your taxes. Lindsey Graham dying so suddenly like that was surprising, especially because I really like this lip color. Who is this? Half Magic. It's cute. Especially because Lindsey Graham was almost 10 years younger than Trump. Same with Biden. He's younger than Biden. That smells so good, you guys. Have you guys ever tried the perfume Maison Louis Marie? Maison Louis Marie. That smells so good. Thank you so much for the super chat. Wait, who's 17? Bro. Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. This is the kid. Okay. I do not know why I assumed this was an adult. This is the kid. That's why it makes sense why they're saying all the shit they're saying. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for the super chat, Pixel Studio. When I lived in Connecticut during the 2007 Petite murders, Republicans who couldn't shut the fuck up about Black people doing crime said nothing because the killers were white as fuck. Yeah, they never do. They never do. They'll be like, oh my gosh, look at like Black people this and Black people that. And they'll say like all this like racist shit about Black people. But then like a white person will kill a Black person and they're also nowhere to be found. It's like, where you at? Where you at? Thought you cared about crime. I thought you guys cared about crime. I thought you guys were crime crusaders. Anti-crime. I'm sorry, crime crusaders. That's stupid. I thought you guys were anti-crime crusaders. All right, let's watch the Boomer Mar thing because that was fun. Or I wanted to watch that. I haven't seen it yet, but I know he's still doing his why I left the left horse shit. And what happened to the Democrats and their okay. Where is it? Wait. Imagine being such a fucking boomer that and so out of touch with reality that you think, wait, where is the whole thing? That you think that like communism in the US is afoot. Bro, imagine being so delusional. That's how out of touch Boomer Mar is and delusional Boomer Mar is. He's so out of touch and so delusional that he thinks that like he needs to be worried about DSA because communism's afoot. So delusional, so boomer. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. And then again, look, this is the function he serves. Wow. Wow. Bill Maher said he's considering voting for Republicans in 2028 because Democrats are becoming communists. Huge mistake, Dems. Like, that's the function he serves. He serves the function of, oh, look, I'm even Bill Maher says the Democrats are out of control. Bill Maher's been a Republican. Bill Maher has been a Republican. So, like, the idea that, like, communism is afoot and it's about to take over and he needs to vote for the Republican Party because if he doesn't vote for the Republican Party, the communists are going to take over is so embarrassing. Like, it's actually so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. You're such a boomer. You're such a boomer. But again, the function that he serves with his little why I'm leaving the left, very too long of why I left the left arc, the function that serves is so that Republicans like this guy can do that. So that Republicans like this clown Eric Doherty guy who just works for Trump and he's also a paid propagandist for the right wing. He's a paid propagandist for MAGA. That he can get up there and go, look, even Bill Maher, who's such a liberal. And it's like, you're really not, though. But you're not, though.
Your vote is up for grabs.
Yes, my vote is in play because it can't be Trump running. So I'm not living in communist America. I mean, I know the talking point is that, well, it's not communism, it's socialism. Okay, I've read the quotes from the DSA platform, from their own mouths. Don't tell me I'm not seeing what I am seeing. And DSA, again, they say things like, you know, takeover of key industries, government That's communism. You know, there is a definition.
By the way, Trump's doing that too.
Of course. Yes.
And to a degree that we haven't seen any other president, Democrat or Republican, do.
Great. That's crazy too.
He's got a piece of intel, and
Right.
a piece of the AI companies.
He treats everything like it's a real estate deal.
You told JD Vance you're open. You're
Okay, that is what is so amazing about how the word communism doesn't actually mean anything. Because if they really were so scared of communism, they would be freaking out about the fact that Trump is taking over industries and taking stakes in industries that we've never seen before. But are they freaking out? No, they're not. No, they're not. First of all, we've never seen the level of corruption in the president's office than what Trump is doing. It really is unprecedented, his level of corruption and self-dealing and grift and graft from him and all of his cronies in the administration, all of his proxies. But another thing is that you haven't seen, which is incredible, is that they cry about communism all the time and how afraid they are of communism. They're so afraid of communism, you guys. They're just so afraid of communism. But so they're really, really, really afraid of communism. But none of them are afraid that Trump is taking a stake in Intel and some of the AI companies, which is the exact kind of quote unquote communism that they're claiming to be afraid of. And actually, a lot of it is to profit himself. It's actually not even government. But the government taking certain stakes is what they're claiming is what they're afraid of when it comes to communism. So why aren't you freaking out about that? It goes to show you that communism doesn't actually mean anything to these people. The term communism doesn't actually mean anything to these people. Otherwise, they'd be freaking out about that. But they're not. They're not. They just talk about communism in like a way of like, because they know that Americans are so propagandized and have been for decades and decades and decades to be afraid of the word. They know that. They know that Americans have been propagandized successfully to be terrified of that word. And also, he's such a fucking boomer. Like, it's the fucking Red Scare. Like, he thinks that a handful of DSA candidates winning is going to be a threat to the point where he needs to vote for a Republican because a handful of DSA candidates won when the Democratic Party is so overwhelmingly like right-wing capitalists. We're talking economically, the vast majority of the Democratic Party electeds are right-wing capitalists. But he's so scared about communism. He's so scared about communism, he needs to vote for, like, what, Marco Rubio? Be so embarrassing. So embarrassing. Get off the stage, old man. It's time for you to wrap it up. It's time for you to wrap it up.
Your vote is up.
There was a longer one. It's a short
JD Vance,
one.
you're open. Your vote is up for grabs.
Yes, my vote is in play because it can't be Trump running. So I'm not living in communist America. I mean, I know the talking point is that, well, it's not communism, it's socialism. Okay, I've read the quotes from the DSA platform, from their own mouths. Don't tell me I'm not seeing what I am seeing. And DSA, again, they say things like, you know, takeover of key industries, government. That's communism. You know, there is a definition.
By the way, Trump's doing that too.
Of course. Yes.
And to a degree that we haven't seen any other president, Democrat or Republican, do.
Great. That's crazy too.
He's got a piece of intel, and a piece of the AI companies.
He treats everything like it's a real estate deal. Or I don't know, he's an agent or something. He always wants 10 or 15%.
So you want to see Democrats win in the midterms?
Absolutely. And they will.
Notice that he's laughing like it's funny. So when it's a handful of DSA candidates running, it's such a threat he has to vote for fascist Marco Rubio. Fascist neocon, right-wing, zealot, bought and paid for by everybody, Marco Rubio. Red Scare, anti-communist, hysterical, lunatic Marco Rubio. But then when it comes to Trump, he's like, I know. Oh, Trump. I know. Trump is really corrupt. He treats it like a real estate deal. bro.
Will still be a referendum on Trump. So I think the Democrats will do very well in the midterms. 2028 is a different story because by then, this wing of the party, this new wing with all the energy, and it's not just a few people anymore. Every day I read about a new person in some Colorado and Wisconsin, somebody who is saying some variation of.
Okay, but also, it's not just a few people anymore. Well, first of all, quite frankly, it's not nearly enough. Should be more. Should be more. But also, I love how he acts like this is what anything like what they're saying is bad. What are you crying about? We live in an oligarchy already. What are you crying about? Like, that's what's amazing is that they think, and it shows how out of touch they are and how rich he is and rich and out of touch he is that he doesn't realize, like, what he's showing his whole ass here for is that he thinks that people who want change are bad because life is good for him. Life is not good for a lot of Americans, as we talked about earlier in the stream, that we have a K-shaped economy where people are incredibly wealthy like him or they're fucking struggling. They're very, very, very poor, working class, not doing well. So he's scared of the idea of change because things are going well for him. So when you see people like Boomer Market scared, you should look at that as a good sign. That's good. If the oligarchy and the ruling class and the wealthy people are happy, they're happy because you're getting screwed. That's what people don't get. Like, I'm sorry, but how fucking stupid are you if you're a regular person and you let a rich person scare you? You let an oligarch or a plutocrat scare you. Then I'm sorry, you're really fucking dumb because their interests are not your interests. If a plutocrat is saying, oh, worry about this, Jeff Bezos is going on TV and saying, oh, worry about this, worry about that, you're dumb. If you think that he is going to say anything that is in your interest. He's not looking out for your interest. He doesn't share your interests. His interests, by definition, are against you. His interests, by definition, are against you. So if these people are telling you that they're happy about something and that you should be happy about something, you're an idiot. And if they're telling you should be scared about something and you're letting them scare you, you're also an idiot. No, their interests are not your interests. If he's getting scared about something, if Jeff Bezos is getting scared about something, that means it might be in your interest. That means it might be in your interest. Because what your financial interests are not their financial interests because they make money at your expense. This isn't a free market, boo. This isn't like, oh my gosh, the rising tide lifts all boats. This isn't trickle-down economics. I'm sorry that some of you are still living in the zombie Reagan era. Or living in the Reagan era, and you're allowing the zombie Reaganism to still live in your brain. But that's not how shit works. Trickle-down economics is not a thing. It never has been a thing. It's never worked. Rising tides do not lift all boats. No, that's why we have a K-shaped economy. We wouldn't have a K-shaped economy if the rising tide actually lifted all boats. If a rising tide actually lifted all boats, it wouldn't look like this, with poor people struggling and working class people struggling and there being no middle class anymore and the rich getting richer and richer and richer. It doesn't work. So when you see people like him getting upset about people like DSA members saying that there should be a more equal economy, they're upset. They're upset because this economy works great for them. It works great for them because they're getting wealthy and staying wealthy at your expense.
Not defund the police, abolish the police.
That's
No
like
prisons, no police. Like, what world do they think we could possibly live in under these conditions? It's just a level of nutty that I'm so glad that whenever it was, I was like, no, I'm not going along because this is where it ends.
Oh my gosh, what a boomer joke. And again, it is so ridiculous to say something this stupid when it's not even in the realm of being close to happening. It literally is like getting afraid that there's going to be like aliens and not paying attention to like the climate catastrophe and being like, oh my gosh, what if aliens come? Like, that is the equivalent of what he's getting upset about. The police are not going to get abolished. That's not going to happen. And even if, let's say, in some really great world, eventually we got to the point that the prison abolitionists think of where we won't need police as we know it now. That is a long time from now. Like, it's fucking delusional to think that that's going to happen when actually most of them don't think that. It's a small minority of that minority that thinks that. But even still, even if that were even on the agenda of possibilities that could happen, it would be like 300 years from now, okay? The idea, my point is, I would vote for somebody who said that they want to abolish the police over a Republican because the Republican is way more of an imminent threat than a left-wing person who says that they want to abolish the police, because I have way more in common with them and I know that they're looking out for my best interests. And even if I don't agree with abolishing the police, I know that's a lot less likely to happen. It is a lot more unrealistic of a threat than a fascist. Somebody who says that they would like to see prison abolition or police abolition is a lot less of a threat to you and me than a person who is a fascist right-winger or even a blue MAGA fascist, a liberal fascist. They're a lot less of a threat. The person who actually is siding with fascists are the bigger threat. So even if you are like me, where I am not a prison abolitionist, I will still vote for one because I know they're way less of a threat. The idea that Boomer, but the point that I'm trying to make, and I'm not doing it the way I want, I'm not doing it articulately, and I can't even say articulately, is the idea that Boomer Mar is allowing that to scare him is if the threat of prison abolition is imminent, just shows you what a fucking clown he is. It just shows you how out of his mind he is. It just shows you how disconnected from reality he is. He's so disconnected from the reality of regular people that he thinks that prison abolition, a view held by like 3 people in the Democratic Party on the left, is more of a threat than Marco Rubio. This is what we mean when we say that liberals like Bill Maher would rather side with fascists than with progressives. This is what we mean. He would rather, literally, would rather side with a fascist like Marco Rubio than Daria Liza Avila Chevalier. That's what we mean. They would literally rather side with fascists.
Could you see yourself voting for J.D. Vance?
Yes. If this is
an actual fascist.
The Democratic side, yes.
Now, you have interviewed several of the possible Democratic candidates.
J.D. Vance is a fascist. He literally says he believes in a post-liberal society. He doesn't even believe in democracy. Like, when I say a post-liberal society, I mean post-small L liberal society. J.D. Vance is a fascist creation of the tech oligarchs. They don't even believe in democracy. But you're going to vote for him, a fascist, a techno-fascist, a techno-feudalist like J.D. Vance, over somebody that is on the left, a progressive. Unfucking serious right-wing fascist clowns. Unserious right-wing fascist clowns. What a fucking joke. What a fucking joke Boomer Mar is.
For 2028. How do you assess? Who do you like?
Oh, I'm not going to ruin future guests by telling you that, John. How ridiculous. They're all great.
Oh, yes. And then he loves to come on and pretend that, oh, the super chat goal on my channel is ending in 1 minute and 30 seconds. And we did get halfway there. We did get halfway there. I had the super chat goal on the I Am Blakely channel, and it says it has 1 minute and 30 seconds to meet its goal, but it's halfway through. That is okay, because we did make it halfway there. Okay. But what does it tell you? That Boomer Mar can still get the credibility of being called a liberal while saying he would vote for JD Vance. That should never be on the table. And then he'll literally have the nerve to still go because he wants the credibility. He wants the I'm still a liberal, so please listen to me bullshit. To be like, oh, whenever I have Republicans on, they're so brave and they're willing to go and my audience accepts them. Yeah, bro, because your audience is like right-wing now. That's why. That's why. Your audience is Zionist and right-wing. That's why. That's why they cheer for your right-wing guests. Like, stop acting like it's because they're open-minded and brave and you're open-minded and brave. Oh, you're open-minded and brave. No. The call is coming from inside the house. The reason why you're so comfortable about around right-wingers now is because you're right-wing. The reason why you're so comfortable around them now is because you're right-wing. That's why. All right. I'm going to wrap this up because we didn't meet the super chat goal, but I am going to thank the 3 people that just sent super chats. If you're still here, Jeb, I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat, the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. You were the one that helped us get to the halfway point of the goal, so thank you. You didn't leave a comment. Thank you so much. Pixel, Student Goat. Bill pitches a 10 every. Bill Maher may as well shout Gen Z and their dubstep. Yeah, seriously. Thank you so much for the super chats, Pixel Goat. I appreciate you. I appreciate the super chats. Thank you so much. That is going to do it for this edition of our live stream. Thank you for joining me, guys, on a random Monday. I know this was a random Monday. I wasn't able to do the chat on the usual Sunday, so thank you, guys. Thank you so much again to everybody who sent super chats. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you to the guy who sent the really big super chat and didn't have a username or a comment. Shout out to you. Thank you guys all, everybody who sent a super chat. Thank you so much to my members. I love all of my members, whether that is on YouTube or Twitch. Thank you guys so much. And thank you to all my Ko-Fi and Patreon members. I love you guys so much. If you want to support me monthly to help me be able to do this content, please consider becoming a patron or a Ko-Fi member or a member on YouTube or a member on Twitch. Thank you guys so much. Again, shout out to everybody who gave me a super chat. I love you. Shout out to my mods who aren't here, but love you guys. I'll see you on Thursday. Thursday is the next live. I go live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, unless otherwise noted in the Discord. So if you want to get updates on when my schedule changes or if it does, I do that in the Discord, which is also my link tree. Everything's in my link tree, fam. Everything's in my link tree, which is in the description. If you want to tip me, if you appreciate my work, Cash App and Venmo is the best way to also do that. So I love you. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Abolish ICE, free Palestine, and fuck Boomer Mar. Like, you're so embarrassing. Just come out as a Republican already, boo. All right, everybody. I love you guys. Bye.